Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Real Estate It's That Simple. My name is Rick Garcia. I'm here with Phil Nordella, and boy, we can tell it's going to be a beautiful weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Just step outside right now when you have a chance. The perfect weekend to check out some property if you've thought about it. Aren't these the busy open house weekends?
Absolutely. Yeah, as soon as the sun comes out, you see open house signs. There's 30 or 40 of them on every corner.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because you're not going to see as many now going into the next couple of months, of which I will get into in a minute.
When you talk about things like open houses, do you have rain delays like you do in baseball?
Yeah.
Do you shut them down if it's raining, or do you find that people still show up?
It depends. Here's the trick. It depends on how you feel about your client being a realtor. So, in other words, if it's raining, I cancel the open house, even though I feel I can get some people in. But I don't want people actually with their dirty, muddy feet.
Yeah.
Wrecking the thing. So I will actually call off an open house. Some realtors say, you know what, let's just make sure that they wipe their feet. I don't like that so much.
Yeah. And the other great thing about this weekend, no football. No excuses, right?
No, absolutely.
No excuses. You can grab your husband, drag him out of the house, make him come to the or your wife, if she's the Super Bowl fan, the football fan.
You would actually not do an open house on Super Bowl Sunday.
Never.
It's probably not a good idea. However, I'm going to say maybe 6 or 7 years ago, we were doing a Super Bowl get-together at our house and planning everything. I get a sign call off of one of my listings, and the guy wanted me to come out and show it to him, and I'm like, it is, not a problem.
Yeah.
But Super Bowl Sunday, you know that, right?
Right.
Well, he was from Jamaica, and he didn't care.
He's
right?
like,
but I went out there, I sold him the house.
Oh, yeah.
So Super Bowl Sunday.
You never know, right? And by the way,
fun Sunday for me.
And I assume the slogan is never turn down business, right?
Right. That's probably not a good idea.
Even if your favorite team is playing, you should probably get out and show it.
Exactly.
All right, let's take a look at some numbers.
SCV, by the numbers.
Yay!
Okay.
All right. So you know what? Hey, we got great news. Actually, it's interesting because one of these ties into the other. Interest rates. So Marla from Augusta Financial, I've been working with her for 20 some odd years, and she's terrific. And no matter what, we talk probably 6 or 7 times a week. However, on Thursday night before the show, obviously, I have to get the updated numbers when it comes to interest rates because we need to know those things. So I'm figuring that I will just call her up, and she's going to say, it's the same. Just go with the last numbers, right? She didn't. She texted me back. She says, what a difference a week makes. Sweet drop of 1/8 to 1/4 point.
Okay.
It's amazing. So how does that actually translate? Conventional loans up to $510,400 start at 3.5% now. High balance loans of $510,411. Don't ask me why.
These are fixed rates, right? By the way,
these are fixed.
Okay.
Yep, these are conventional loans. 3.5. High balance loans, $510,411 to $765,600 start at 3.625, and the jumbo loans over $765,000 start at 3.75, which is amazing. FHA starts as low as 3.125, okay, with only 3.5% down for FHA. The VA starts as low as 3.125. There is no money down with full VA entitlement when it comes to the VA loan.
So if you
that's
served
amazing.
in the military, deservedly so, you catch quite a break.
You betcha,
Yeah.
as they should. Now, how this translates to the numbers when it comes to Santa Clarita listings.
Right. What does this mean for me? That's what I'm interested. I want to know how it affects me and Patrick here, who's running the board.
It means that what you need to do if you're thinking about purchasing is take advantage of these interest rates. A lot of people are taking advantage of these interest rates because of the fact that we normally have anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4 months worth of inventory, which means when you go out and shop, you got plenty to look for, you got plenty to pick from, and you might be able to get yourself a good deal. However, right now, last week we had 365 active listings. Right now we have 339 active listings, but this is where the numbers get really interesting. Active under contract, which just means they're in escrow, but they'll look at a backup, offer.
So you can make an offer.
Exactly.
Okay.
We got 158 of those in escrow right now. Pending, we have 197, which totals 355 actual things in escrow. What that means is we have less than 1 month's worth of inventory. Because we have 339 active listings, but we have 355 in escrow, which means if we didn't get any more listings over the next 30 days, we would actually be out of listings.
Run out of something to sell.
Inventory. The inventory would be gone. So that's interesting. Also,
Seller's market, when that happens?
Seller's market, it makes it, see, it's good news, bad news for buyers. The good news is you're going to get a screaming deal. The bad news is you just don't have as much to choose from.
Right. Well, when interest rates drop, that doesn't necessarily make the light bulb go on. If you've been thinking of selling your home, that this would really be a good time to sell it also?
I think that when it comes to listing, in fact, the last 4 appointments that I went on, that I got all 4 within the last 2 weeks, not one of them is listing it today. Mm-hmm. I've got one that's probably going to go in another 2 weeks because they have to clean up the house. Another one's not going to go for at least another 2 months. Another one's going to go in April. And so it's one of those things to where they usually either have to do something to the house or there's a reason why they're listing it later, and it's usually because of the kids in their school.
Yeah, job change or kids. Okay,
Yep.
that makes sense.
Yep.
Do we know what kind of a payment we would have at that 3.5% today? We didn't probably.
I didn't figure that out. I can
That's
if you just. You know
it's
what?
my fault
if you can call
not
me,
reminding you.
If you want to call me at 661
Okay.
312-3561. I'll
run the numbers.
I'll run those figures for you.
Excellent.
Okay, so a couple more things, which is interesting, and this is for renters. We're not just homeowners. We're actually here trying to see if we can't turn renters into homeowners, see if they can't get their write-offs and their appreciation. Again, this is from Marla at Augusta Financial when it comes to the down payment assistant loan programs that they have, which they have quite a few. A lot of times renters rent because they don't think that they can purchase for whatever reason. It might be the fact that they don't have a down payment. It might be from their credit rating. However, there's some companies out there that actually give down payment assistance. And so we all know that there's a lot of expenses involved in buying a house, right? One of the biggest ones is the down payment. Then you've got some closing costs. So if people don't have a lot of money saved, they just feel that they can't get something. However, they can with this now. The down payment assistance can cover some of or all of the costs. It could be considered a second loan. This is where it gets interesting. That may or may not have to be paid back, depending on the loan. Some loans, down payment assistance doesn't have to be paid back. And this is something that Marla's going to talk about. She's going to be in here in a couple weeks, and she's going to go over everything. A couple of the other things that has to have, most programs require a 640 to a 660 middle credit score. Many programs have some type of income restrictions. Some are as high as $128,000 annually for you and your wife if you're married, and others do not have any restricted income at all.
So it's a common, I guess I'll use the word issue. It's a common situation that people are in, that maybe they don't have a lot of money in the bank, but maybe they have a pretty good job. Maybe there are 2 household incomes coming in. They can afford the mortgage payment. It's just getting into the home in the first place. So this is an option for those folks.
And I think it's a lack of awareness too, because it gets confusing. You hear all these different things when it comes to no money down. No, you really need 20% down, or you're going to have PMI. All of these things that you've actually got, it does get confusing. So people sometimes just don't do anything. They get shell shocked and they don't do anything. What they need to know is if they don't have a lot, but they do have a good job, they have decent credit, and they can actually make a payment, that there are these companies out there that actually will help them. Now, and this doesn't have to be a first-time home buyer either, because they've got actually some programs that aren't first-time home buyer programs that you can actually get the assistance from. And also, some programs in LA County go up to $510,000 for the purchase price, and others can go all the way up to $765,000. Which is terrific, I think.
And again, the amount of the loan, and you touched on it, and when Marla comes in, we'll get a little deeper into this. There are the different variations. When you say conventional, people are like, "What's a conventional? What's a jumbo? What's that?" You kind of spelled it out a little bit, but you have basically 3 loan options depending on the price of the property you're buying.
Yep, exactly right. And
so meaning conventional would probably be a lower loan balance.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, you put a little bit more down. Now you get into the point, and I don't want to delve too much into this because it's Marla's thing. But what happens is the less that you put down, okay, then sometimes PMI crawls into it. And that's private mortgage insurance, and that's going to actually be something that's going to cost more.
Yeah, increase your payment.
Exactly right. And it's basically a risk thing that they say we've got to have some insurance to make sure. The less you put down, the quicker that you would walk away from a property if things went sideways. Okay. Another thing which is interesting, I saw here from Inman. Inman is one of the places that you go for all of the important information on real estate throughout the country. There's a San Francisco-based firm right now that wants to. They're calling themselves the Netflix for real estate. So you figure, okay, what the heck does that mean? It's a San Francisco firm, offers to pitch in on consumers' down payments, to let existing homeowners pull cash out of their properties or to buy a property. In return, right, they'll get, I guess, and again, it doesn't really go into this, I guess they get interest on their money. But what they're doing it for is so that the homeowner will turn over some of their future appreciation, which is fascinating. So if you actually get a loan on a property, whether it goes up or down, you pay that loan and that's it. You pay the interest and you pay the loan off. The balance goes down. These people are saying, tell you what, and it's funny because they use an example. So, and this example tells you that they are obviously a nationwide firm. So let's say you're 30 years old. This is what I'm actually reading. Let's say you're 30 years old. You live in New York City. You have a good job and you're trying to figure out how to buy a condo. Okay? Well, the starting price is $1 million. Well, that means that you'll need to come up with $200,000 for a down payment. So what they're saying is we can go in and contribute up to 75% of that down payment. So here's a company that will actually lend you 75%, what that would be obviously $150,000. I'm sure they're going to get an interest payment on that, right? Because you're going to actually make the payment to the bank, plus you're going to make a payment to them. But the reason why they're doing it is they lock in on your equity.
Right.
Which means if it goes up and you sell, not only have you paid them the interest rate, but you're also going to pay them a percentage of the house, which I find fascinating.
It sounds like an investor is what that sounds like. They're going to kind of invest in your property and take a chance, roll the dice.
I don't understand how that works out to where they're actually considering the Netflix of real estate, but I guess anybody could say that, right?
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, I just want to give a shout out. Doing what we do obviously is very complex, time consuming, and all of these things. And one of the guys that I really appreciate, Dale over at ZooWorks, okay? And at ZooWorks, it's ZUWERKS at ZooWorks.com. If you need a professional when it comes to printing, marketing materials, business cards, he does 3D virtual tours for realtors. He's helped me so much because I'm constantly using him, and I'm also constantly saying, okay, wait. So explain it again. You want me to do this? You want me to do this? And so it's a really, really, really great thing that he does, and I just wanted to give him a shout-out. Dale at ZooWorks, ZooWorks.com.
I assume flyers and print,
signs, logos.
Yeah.
Great service,
which
great
every realtor needs help with, right?
And I needed a lot of it.
You need a lot.
Yep.
All right, we're going to change gears coming up in the next segment here. We're so lucky to have the hospital that we have in our community, Henry Mayo, and Henry Mayo Newhall Hospital. It constantly gets better. It just keeps improving, and we're going to talk to Marley Lawford next.
If you're thinking of selling your home, have Phil Nordella come out and give you a free, no obligation property valuation. Just call 661-312-3561. It's that simple.
If you find yourself in an issue with the IRS and they're threatening you, or you can't sleep at night, remember this name, Anthem Tax Services. Within 2 months, they saved me $25,000.
If you are a small business owner or self-employed and owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call Anthem Tax Services today. 866-630-2694. We have saved millions of dollars in tax debt, and our goal is to reduce your tax debt to as little as possible. Call 866-630-2694. We are confident enough in our services to offer a 100% money-back guarantee if we can't put you in a better position than where you started. Call for a free consultation, and we'll also take care of your tax case study for free, saving you hundreds of dollars. Call 866-630-2694. Anthem Tax Services, the trusted name in tax resolution. 866-630-2694. 866-630-2694.
There are times when nothing else will do because you know exactly what you want. You want the Alamo, the taste of true Mexican cooking at its best. At Alamo, you're treated to a taste that is truly Mexican with an atmosphere to match. Enjoy a Cadillac margarita, try a mucho burrito, or sizzling fajitas. Voted the best Mexican food in the SCV and a favorite of former supervisor Mike Antonovich. Alamo Rotisserie in Granary Square, serving Santa Clarita for over 30 years.
Mold contamination is a growing concern for all of us, especially in our homes. Golden State Mold Inspections is Santa Clarita's leading mold inspectors. Be sure to protect yourself and your family with a professional mold inspector. Golden State Mold Inspections can identify mold problems and future mold challenges. Call the mold professionals, Golden State Mold Inspections. Visit their website for details, goldenstatemoldinspections.com. That's goldenstatemoldinspections.com.
Castle Inspection is the top choice for home inspection in Santa Clarita. With over 20 years experience, make Castle Inspection your choice when buying your new condominium or home. From mobile homes to mansions, the outhouse to the penthouse, your best bet is a net from Castle Inspection. An inspection is a fair and objective evaluation of the home's physical and mechanical systems. Expert knowledge, thorough research, and clear communication are what sets a net at Castle above the rest. Schedule your appointment online now at castleinspection.com.
My name is Frank. I'm the proud owner and operator of Braveheart Termite and Pest Control. I've been doing this for over 25 years. Call me for your termite needs and concerns. If you're in real estate and need a quality home inspection, call me today. You'll have those reports same day or within 24 hours. I will help you solve your issue with what needs to be done and nothing extra. Call me so you can have freedom from termites. 661-373-2617. That's 373-2617.
Marla Ferris at Augusta Financial is the consummate mortgage professional, committed to helping you turn your dream of homeownership into reality. With more than 22 years in the finance mortgage industry, Marla brings extensive experience and top knowledge to help make your loan experience hassle-free. Given her honesty, integrity, and attention to detail, she is the loan officer you can trust. Marla knows what it takes to get you the best loan, the best rate, and the best service in the industry. You'll find Marla Ferris at Marla, FERRIS.com.
Take the stress out of moving. Affordable Quality Moving and Storage has been owned and operated in Santa Clarita since 1996. They excel at relieving you of the pressures of moving. You can be assured your belongings are safe and will arrive at your new location, whether it's down the street or across the country. Discover the difference. AQMS, Affordable Quality Moving and Storage. Read the reviews online at aqmsnationalmoving.com. AQMS, Santa Clarita's favorite moving company.
If you're looking for an SCV-based home design firm you can trust, look no further. Style My Space is a recognized leader in luxury vacant home staging and interior design projects for all of northern Los Angeles County since 2006. Their 5-star reputation for beautiful staging installations helps sellers realize up to 10% higher offers in as little as 1/3 the time as non-staged homes. Get an instant quote on our website at stylemyspace.com. That's stylemyspace.com.
Let's talk about insurance. Are your rates skyrocketing year after year? Or do you feel like you would benefit from a professional advisor that works for you? Give the great team at Voy Insurance Solutions a call. Voy works with dozens of the best insurance companies to help you obtain competitive rates and comprehensive coverage. Homeowners, auto, business, and life insurance. Voy Insurance. Right price, right coverage, right now. Mention the Phil Nordella Show and get a free $10 Starbucks card. Visit voyinsurance.com. That's voinsurance.com.
Hometown.
I wanted to let you know that I really appreciate the way you guys do what you do.
Your hometown station.
Welcome back to Real Estate. It's that simple. I'm Rick Garcia along with Phil Nordella. We are very excited to have Marlee Loffer on with us today. She's the foundation president for Henry Mayo Newhall Hospital. She's also the vice president of marketing and communications, but a lot of us in Santa Clarita remember Marlee when she was also the vice president of marketing and communications for Newhall Land. Welcome, Marlee. Thanks for being with
It's
Phil
a pleasure
and
to be
me
here.
on Real Estate. It's that simple. So why would we bring Marlee in when on our real estate show, Phil?
Well, because of the fact that the first thing is Henry Mayo is incredible. Okay, my wife worked there for 20 years. She loved it. It's a terrific hospital, and I think if we were going to translate this into real estate, just for the fact that we have such a great hospital and it actually has a trauma center, that is huge when it comes to people who want to move out here. It's an actual plus. So what can you tell us about the trauma center?
Sure. And before I talk about that, it is kind of interesting that I spent so long with Newhall Land, because Newhall Land actually started the hospital in that it donated the 25 acres that it sits on when it was building its master plan community of Valencia. Because exactly as you said, when people live here, you want to have a good community hospital. So they knew they needed to do that. And then, of course, they've been involved with the hospital as a donor, because we are a not-for-profit hospital over the years, as has others in the community. So for me, it's been kind of full circle to come from Newhall Land to the hospital and be part of the community that way. As far as a trauma center, yep, that's a big part of what we do. We see about 60,000 people a year in our emergency room. And there are times it's bustling and overflowing, but it's a good, strong emergency room and a full trauma service as well.
And it is a well-oiled machine. I had to actually go there myself, and I got to tell you something. When I got there, it was like, okay, from here to here to here, and I went, wow, this is impressive.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was great.
Now, here's something
Did a
that's
good job.
important for people considering moving out here, or people who've thought about leaving. Trauma designation, it's a difficult label to accomplish for some hospitals. Explain what it meant for somebody who got hurt here before there was a trauma center here in Santa Clarita versus now.
Well, there's several different things. We've always had a good emergency department, but being part of the trauma services, it brings the level of care up even higher. It also ties us to all of the other trauma facilities in Los Angeles County. Phil was referencing earlier that there's a system. If there's particularly because of the 5 freeway, Castaic Lake, we tend to get some major incidents that might occur. And so there's a system in place that if there's a 10-car pileup on the 5 freeway, determining who goes to what trauma facility. And our hospital is actually the brains of that. We have the control center in our hospital that decides where everybody goes. But it's also level of training of the emergency room physicians, and then also the other services that we're able to provide. Today we have a full cardiac cath program. So if you come in to the trauma center with a heart attack in progress, we have the full ability to do everything from stents to open heart surgery in our hospital.
I mention it because the point is, just from covering news over the years, it's an issue of transportation sometimes. I know my daughter number 1, I refer to her as, she had a horseback riding incident. They could not take her to the local hospital. She was in trauma. Then it was an hour-and-a-half ambulance ride to the nearest trauma center. And time can make a huge difference, right?
Parent, you must be freaking out.
No question. And so to know you got something in your backyard here,
absolutely,
if there's a serious injury, and knowing that they can take care of you is gives you peace of mind.
And as part of being a trauma center, we have a helipad right there on campus too. So we can not only accept patients that need to come in by helicopter, but also transfer you out right away if you need to go somewhere else.
It's funny, my brother, Dr. Nordella, he used to actually ride with them in the helicopter and actually be the doctor.
Yep,
he did that for a couple years.
We miss having him here.
Does he admit that he's your brother? Or were we supposed to keep that secret?
It depends on the day. Let's hope he's not listening right now. So tell us about the Hearts program. That sounds interesting.
Sure, that is something that we've been very, very focused on the last several years. We had a very generous donor, a woman named Roberta Vilos, who's a great business lady in the Santa Cruz Valley. Her company was Aquafine.
Sure.
When she sold Aquafine, she came to the hospital and said she was tired of her friends that had heart issues having to go over the hill.
Wow.
And so we started the Roberta G. Vilos cardiac cath lab is what it's called. And we literally do everything from stents, intervention work, we do electrical work, and then we do open heart surgeries at Henry Mayo. And that's a very important designation as well, because in order to have a full cardiac cath lab, we have to have employees, physicians and nurses trained that are within 20 minutes of the hospital. So if somebody's coming in, we can, in the middle of the night, we put the call out and they're there. So it's It's a very key part of our operations.
Peace of mind is huge with that hospital. That's what I think of.
Yes.
I think of peace of mind, just to know that they're there.
Well, and I always kind of like to say that I think the hospital kind of grew up with the community. And, in the very early days, we're 45 years old this year, which is actually young for a hospital. So when we started, it was, I kind of laugh and say it was babies, bumps, and bruises. Lots of babies being born, and then the emergency room saw lots of little accidents and things like that. Yeah. Today, we are full service, and we do, as the community ages, and heart is a big issue. That is something we're very focused on. Orthopedic, as we're all getting older and knees are going out and shoulders need to be replaced. Yeah. That's a big part of our program as well. And so we are absolutely responding to the growth of the community.
You definitely have come a long way. I was explaining to you earlier that my wife Judy was at she worked in the ER for 20 years. And when we were dating and she was working there, I would come visit her. And there were 4 beds. That was it. Not a lot going on. We would go and I would play catch in the parking lot with one of the doctors, and because somebody comes in, I'm here for him, right? Yep. And so I went there recently, and I didn't recognize it. I mean, I don't know how many beds are in there now.
Well, we officially have 36 beds, wow. But as people who know that have been in the emergency room, especially late at night or on a crowded time of day, we might have beds laying in the hallway as well. Our goal is to get people from the lobby into a bed as fast as possible, and then take care of their issue, or if we need to admit them, we do that as well.
And now you've got the new tower with all private rooms.
We do. The hospital was built at a time when shared rooms was the norm. So we have rooms that are 2, even a few that are 3 people, and nowadays nobody wants that. I mean, not only for infection control and privacy issues, but just your comfort. It's just not a good thing to do. So we were able, again with the community's support, and we're still fundraising for it, start a new program called Building for Your Health, and we created the new patient tower. And it's a 6-story tower, 1-story underground. We have 3 floors of regular patient beds, 30 on each floor, all private rooms. Latest technology. You can bring your, if you're laying in bed, you can hook up your Netflix account and all of that on the TV, which, is
times
nice.
Changed.
Yeah,
makes me want to hurt myself.
Instead of fighting over the remote control over, which bed is going to get the watch off the same TV.
It's very, very nice. It's allowed us to really improve the patient care has always been good at the hospital, but the perception and the quality of the patient laying in the room and their family visiting, there's a place for family to spend the night in the room, et cetera. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's terrific.
We opened it in October, and it's been running almost at capacity since we opened it.
Yeah, the way you describe it, I feel like staying there. Is it?
Well, I got to tell you,
for vacation, just to get away from the kids.
The views from some of the rooms are amazing.
There you go. So. See, you just talked me into it. Do you have a pool?
Yeah, probably. That'll be next.
That'll be the jacuzzi for therapy.
They can take
Our
you by helicopter.
fitness center has a pool.
There you go. Thanks. See? I'll be seeing you.
How about the new center for the women and newborns? So I saw a commercial on that, by the way, last night.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's really exciting too, because and that's always been a core part of our business. We deliver about 1,300 babies a year, and obviously this is a very family-oriented community. And again, a lot of our maternity rooms were double, and who wants that when you've just had a baby? And so, in the 2nd floor of the new tower, we expanded our Center for Women and Newborns, all private labor and delivery rooms and post and antepartum rooms, state-of-the-art equipment, just beautiful facility. And in addition to that, we were able to build 2 surgical suites in that area.
Wow!
Because if you're having a C-section, a lot of times it's an emergency C-section, and we're kind of fighting over the scheduling in the other surgical suites, and what goes first and all of that. This is dedicated just to women's issues, and I think has really been well received.
Does this include is it a NICU?
We have a NICU. We built a NICU several years ago. The Kim and Steve Ullman NICU, again, a generous donor.
Neonatal intensive care. So it's
unit.
for babies. I asked this because I remember, and this is near and dear to us, we had twins. We had to go over the hill because there were some complications with my wife's pregnancy. And so we wound up going over the hill. Now, the place we were at was wonderful. It was like heaven, and the nurses that work in the NICUs, they're just angels.
Special people.
But it would have been so nice to just be down the street if you have to run back and forth. And I was going back and forth to work, and so we had to employ other family members to kind of help with my wife. And but knowing you have something like that, you never know when you're going to need it.
Exactly.
In this day and age, so many more twins, and and you got more than just singletons being born.
Right.
Born.
We built the NICU or opened it about, about 8 years ago in 2012. We had our first set of triplets 2 years ago, so that was really exciting. But we have lots of twins. And it was an issue that, that especially if you were high risk, some women were concerned about delivering at Henry Mayo for that reason, that we didn't have the NICU and didn't want to be separated from their children if they had to be airlifted or sent over to Holy Cross or another hospital. And so it's really been a terrific addition. So now with the expanded Center for Women Newborns,
and the Women's Center,
surgical suites,
my wife
and
loves
the NICU.
The Women's Center part of it all is you really get spoiled, I think, as a mom. So I'm glad to hear we have that now.
That's
Right.
nice. Yeah, we had all 3 of our boys at Henry Mayo. Yeah, excellent. Excellent.
Yep. I had my daughter 21 years ago.
I'm glad you've expanded, because now that they're going to do this new Hall Ranch, I hate to say it, but there's going to be so many more homes out there. It's going to be packed on the freeway. I mean, it just is. There's just no way around it. And so I think, unfortunately, with more traffic, there's going to be more instances that people are going to, unfortunately, crash. So it's a good thing. Are you guys working on anything else right now that actually isn't finished? Or all of these things that we just talked about, they're pretty much finished, aren't they?
They are. The new tower is still a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing patients in there, but we left the first floor in what we call shelled condition, so we could determine what exactly we wanted to put in there once we got the tower open, the rooms open. So we're working on that final plan right now, and we'll be announcing that, but there'll be some additional facilities in there. And then we're always adding new technology. Speaking of the women's unit, this is a small thing, but it's so nice because we have the whole new tower and a new communication system. We're able to play a lullaby every time a baby is born.
Oh, that's great.
Just a short little snippet, and you walk around campus and you see people smile when you do that.
That's awesome.
We're also going to, in the NICU, be able to put in technology so a parent can observe their baby that is in the NICU when they're not there. Because sometimes, the mom is not able to be there, or she's in the hospital bed down the way, but she wants to kind of see. And, in today's world, you're able to do that a lot easier.
Sure.
And so we're putting in that technology as well.
Well, I'll tell you something. When it comes to real estate, because it's a real estate show, and the real estate values, this is unbelievably valuable to everybody when it comes to the price of their homes and the values of their homes, and how we actually keep our value, which is important. Last thing but not least, I'd like to talk to you about the golf tournament. Rick, I heard that you knew how to play golf. I've seen it.
Is that what you call it, golf?
Hit the ball and chase.
They've always, and by the way, the hospital has always been known for its tournament.
Yes.
We've both played in this tournament in the past. Maybe we'll get an invite, for a future one. But it's always been a lot of fun. It's just really well put together.
Oh yeah.
It is a great tournament, and it benefits our emergency department and our trauma services. And actually, the head of our emergency department, Dr. Bud Lawrence, who's just a great community member, he co-chairs the golf tournament. And is an auctioneer on the golf tournament as well. So all of the funds do go back to emergency services. We've been doing it for 40-ish years. This may be, I think, 44 years. And Joe Queso at Frontier Toyota has been the title sponsor
we know Joe.
For 20-some years. And it's very, very exciting, well-run golf tournament. One of the few that is allowed to be at Valencia Country Club on a weekend. So it's Saturday, May 9th.
Yep.
We take over the whole thing. Lots of fun on every hole. There's food. There's different drinks. There's activities. We have a cannon you can shoot balls out of.
It's
and
a lot
play
of fun.
Off that.
I played in it twice. Believe it or not, we won it one year.
Good for you.
And that was unbelievable. We were
Cheater.
21 under par.
Cheater.
21 under par.
We actually assign
cheat.
scorekeepers to
It's
go
impossible.
out.
Scorekeepers.
It's
We have
impossible.
volunteers that go
played
out
in-
with you.
I've emceed some of the after parties in the past. If somebody's interested and they want to sign up or maybe get more information, how do they do that?
Absolutely. Contact the Hospital Foundation, 200-1204, or go onto our website, henrymayo.com, and then under the foundation or giving, there's information about the golf tournament. And we absolutely would love to have more folks from the community
We
play.
should put a team together.
Let's do it.
That'd be great.
Do you play golf, Patrick?
I do play golf a little bit.
Okay, that worries me. Never mind. You're out. You're
Oh,
out.
come
When
on.
you're going to answer like that.
Hey,
I think
no.
he might be sandbagging.
Maybe he's like the guy that says, "Oh no, I don't really play poker. Did you want me to come play with you?" Maybe he's doing that. Maybe he's really good.
I got a good poker
What does this
face.
crown mean? Marley, do you mind if I ask you a quick? I want to get back to the Sheila Velos Center, because before it has a different designation now. I think you were talking in regard to the heart program, right? But we know it from.
Right. There's two. We have the Roberta Velos cardiac cath lab, and then we have the Sheila R. Velos breast center,
which is
that's one of our best brands.
Hasn't it been?
Have.
I mean, you know, every woman in my life, every woman in this community has to be familiar with it. And
we have a lot of we see a lot of patients through there, mostly women.
And what do they
some
do?
men
Just
too.
remind us what
it's
it's
an imaging center that well, actually, it's a full service breast health center. That's really how it's positioned. Largely mammograms for screening, but we also do ultrasounds. And then the new technology is called ABUS, which is an ultrasound on steroids, basically. And so anyone who has any concerns about breast health, both men and women, go through the center for screenings. And then if there is anything more to do, we can do diagnostic and treatment there as well. We have great breast surgeons that are on campus and oncology professionals that can help with any follow-up issues. We also have an infusion center on campus, which I think a lot of people aren't aware of. So if you are going further down that route and need to have chemo on the Henry Mayo campus, we do that. The Sheila R. Velos Breast Center is one of our most popular brands, and we're actually going to expand that center in the future. Plans are underway right now because we have a lot of patients and it gets crowded in there.
Yeah.
So we want to be able to expand it and offer the services to even more.
Wow. Well, you know, you've got to feel good. I know you transferred to one company to the other, but you've got to feel good about what you're doing even more than what you were doing before, just for the fact that it's so important. You know, I mean, you're helping people, you know, making their lives easier, saving lives. I mean, that's important.
It is exciting.
You know?
I mean, every day you hear some story from somebody. It could be my neighbor. It could be someone I run into in the hallway. It could be an old business colleague that had such a good experience. And we want to make it better each time. And I work with great professionals. We have 2,000 employees at the hospital.
Wow.
A lot of people don't realize that. About 500 physicians in addition to that, and then 300 volunteers
that's the other thing.
that contribute.
The people that you employ.
Right.
I mean, that's another thing.
Yeah,
So,
and I'll say,
it's all
you know,
great.
again, proximity, and my family has used the hospital over the years. Phil's has, yours. Proximity is so important. That's why I was saying when we had to drive over the hill for certain things back in the day, like when my twins were born, there's just something about being close to your home. To just know that you're in your community that gives you that comfort, which I think goes toward your healing process.
Absolutely. And like Newhall Land Planned, it's right in the middle of Valencia.
Of the city.
Yeah. We have a friend of ours that actually is over at Henry Mayo. She's been there quite a while, and Judy gets to visit her a lot more than she would be able to visit her if she had to drive into the valley or
It makes
drive
a big
anywhere
difference.
else.
Right.
It's
a huge difference.
I mean, you don't even think about those
Right.
things. Anyway, listen, thank you so much.
Oh, it's a delight.
I mean,
Thank
this
you.
is this was terrific, and I love hearing about it. You know, because sometimes you don't think about it so much because it's just there. But you know, when you actually get face to face and you hear some of these things, it even makes it even greater.
Marley Laufer, Foundation President and Vice President of Marketing and Communications for Henry Mayo Newhall Hospital. I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon down the road. And thanks again for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, and we'll see you at the golf tournament.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be
All
nice,
right,
wouldn't it? All right. Coming up, we got Tales from the Dark Side.
Ooh, Tales
Real
from the
estate
Dark Side.
horror stories.
Whoa!
This is real estate. It's that simple. We'll be right back.
If you're thinking of selling your home, have Phil Nordella come out and give you a free, no obligation property valuation. Just call 661-312-3561. It's that simple.
The city of Santa Clarita has so much going on this year. Be on the lookout for amazing events happening throughout the year, including the Cowboy Festival, concerts in the park, Thursdays at Newhall, and the Santa Clarita Marathon. There are also a number of fun activities and things to do year-round, including outdoor recreation, hiking and bike trails, adult classes, art exhibits, youth sports programs, and more. You can even sign up to be a volunteer. Learn more at santa-clarita.com.
Castle Inspection is the top choice for home inspection in Santa Clarita. With over 20 years experience, make Castle Inspection your choice when buying your new condominium or home. From mobile homes to mansions, the outhouse to the penthouse, your best bet is a net from Castle Inspection. An inspection is a fair and objective evaluation of the home's physical and mechanical systems. Expert knowledge, thorough research, and clear communication are what sets a net at Castle above the rest. Schedule your appointment online now at castleinspection.com.
The Art Gallery of Santa Clarita Artists Association, located in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Railroad and Main, features local members' original artwork with changing exhibits every 2 months. Purchase affordable art for your home or as gifts. Open Friday through Sunday or by appointment. Artists wishing to join the SCAA can visit santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming shows, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
Marston's Restaurant has been a Pasadena landmark, voted the best breakfast in California by the Food Network magazine. Discover Marston's Santa Clarita location, open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Marston's also has a fantastic catering menu that adds a delicious twist to any event. And they cater picnic dinners for that memorable romantic date. Experience Marston's on Newhall Ranch Road and McBean, or log on to marstonsrestaurant.com.
You're going places, and College of the Canyons can help you get there. Registration is going on now for their spring semester, which begins February 10th. Take classes in Valencia, Canyon Country, or online. Need to update your professional skills? Enroll in their free career skill classes, many of which take less than 2 weeks to complete. Visit canyons.edu/schedule for a full list of spring classes. You're going places with College of the Canyons.
We all know sometimes people lose their way. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, the Way Out Recovery SCV may have the answers you've been waiting for. The Way Out is the premier intensive outpatient treatment center serving Santa Clarita. Asking for help is the first step. Call The Way Out today, 661-296-4444. That's 296-4444 for a private free assessment. The Way Out is an accredited, affordable outpatient program that accepts most insurance. Call us at 661-296-4444 or check us out online at thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com. Quit battling with yourself. Ask The Way Out for help today.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Real estate, it is that simple. I'm Rick Garcia along with Phil Nordella, but the truth of the matter is, it really isn't that simple sometimes, is it?
Sometimes it's not.
Yeah, right?
Sometimes
Sometimes we have these really crazy moments that we call, they're horror stories, which we call...
Tales from the Dark Side.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, you know, we talk, I say for the last 25 years, I had been training realtors, some experienced realtors that want to make more money. Some are brand new. The brand new ones scare you because, you know, when you take your real estate test, most of the questions have nothing to do with you selling real estate. In fact, I always say the only thing that needs to be on a real estate test is how big is an acre, and that's 43,560 square feet, and that's the only thing you'll ever use after you take your test. So these agents, they come in and they need to be trained because they still don't know anything, which is okay. I didn't know anything when I came in, right? And that's the way it works. So, but you train them and you do a couple training classes and you give them a little bit, but then you have to send them out into the world and say, okay, you know, here you go. And as a trainer, you just hope that they don't get into massive amounts of trouble, of which that's where we have Tales from the Dark Side, because there have been some that either have gotten into trouble or they just get to the point where they scare the heck out of you. And this is more of this one scared the heck out of me. I call this one, the key is on the barbecue, let yourself in. What the heck does that mean? Okay, so I'm sitting there, and no news is good news when you're a trainer and you're training new agents. No news is good news. But when you get a call and the new agent says, I have a question for you. How do you sell a house that you have an offer written on that's not listed? And so I'm trying to make sense of that. I'm going, okay, so wait a minute. why would you write an offer on a house that's not listed? He goes, okay. So anyway, so we set up a time. We went out to a house. The sign was between the two houses. It was actually, the one that was listed was on the left side, and we went into the right side. And I went, okay, I get it. How'd you get in? No lockbox, right? No. The key was on the barbecue.
The key was on the barbecue.
And I said, and you thought that was normal? Well, I mean, it said it was listed. And so I went in. I go, may I ask? So you went into the house, yes, and you were there how long? Well, actually, they loved the house. We were there for over an hour. And I went, you were in some strange person's house for over an hour. They liked it so much, we wrote an offer. And so I would like to know. And then when I presented the offer, I presented it to the agent, and the agent said, this is not our house. This is the one next door. That's the only reason why they found it.
Yeah.
So he asked me, so what should I do? And I said,
get out of the house. like a horror movie.
Get out. Get out. No, so what I told him is I said, okay, so you're not in the house. You put the key back on the barbecue, I'm hoping, right? Which is obviously where it's supposed to be. And I said, why don't you do this? Why don't you just knock on the door and say, you know, my clients had just a good feeling. They just had a good feeling about this house, and so they wrote an offer sight unseen. I wasn't going to say they spent an hour in the house. I didn't know what else to handle it. And so that's what they did. They knocked on the door and said, I've got an offer in your house right now. But it was a busy time, and it would be expected, right? I mean, people can walk up any time with multiple offers on any house, even if it wasn't listed. And the guy says, no, I'm not interested in selling. In fact, I just closed 3 weeks ago. So I wanted to say, did you tell him to take the key off the barbecue? But he didn't. So anyway, so that's my tales from the dark side for this.
Good news, no law enforcement involved. Is that right? Nobody ever.
No, not like the last one where two people got arrested.
All right. You want to take a phone call? By the way, I'm Rick Garcia, Phil Nordella and Associates and eXp Realty.
And
right?
eXp Realty,
yes,
so
exactly. You're here to try to make people's lives easier when it comes to real estate. We have John on the line from Valencia, and he has a question about agents. Go ahead, John.
Hi, John.
Yeah, hey guys. I'm going to be listing my house here pretty soon, and I was just wondering if you have any insider tips when it comes to picking a realtor to use.
Yes, I've got an insider tip. You ready? Do you have a pen? Okay, here's my best insider tip that you can get. Ready? 661-312-3561.
That's all? That's
call me, and I'll come out and talk to you. But, okay, so let's go over some of the things. You don't know any realtors. Let's just say you decide that you want to list your house.
I don't. I have a friend getting into it, but he's still, I think, taking his classes or whatever you do.
Right, okay. So, and that's an interesting thing that you bring up, your friend. We had talked just earlier about the fact that when somebody actually takes their test, me included, okay, and Rick even, when you take the test and you're finished with the test, you really don't know anything about selling real estate. And here's the problem with that. The problem is we're in a sue-happy society, okay? And there's so many things, there's so many moving parts in your average real estate transaction that could go wrong. You need experience, okay? So I'm going to tell you that right now. You need to go someone with experience, because if you were to list with your friend who has just gotten their license, you're not listing with them. You're listing with the person that takes care of them and handles them. And they're not going to be at your house at all, because you're only dealing with your friends. So it's a concern for me, because, again, we're sue happy. I always say the same thing. It's like, be careful. There's only so many times you're ever going to need a realtor. But when you do, that is the most expensive thing that you're probably ever going to buy or sell in your lifetime, and you may only do it 2 or 3 times. So you have to be very careful. So let me give you a couple of things. Number one, remember this: commissions are negotiable. All right? If somebody comes out and says, oh, this is what I charge, blah, 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 that's fine. Okay? However, they are negotiable. You can negotiate that, and that's important. If they don't want to negotiate, that's okay too, because there's 1,700 realtors out here for Santa Clarita that you can go with. Number two, don't feel obligated to go with someone because of your relationship with them. It could actually, I've seen a lot of actual friendships break up because you're in court, and it was because the realtor that you're friends with didn't know what they were doing. All right. So I would say, and I know this is going to sound really crazy, a realtor isn't really a realtor until they've gotten a couple of years experience under their belt and maybe sold at least 10 homes. then they've got a handle on it. Other than that, they're not running the show. Whoever their manager is or their broker, they're the person that's running the show. And there's usually a disconnect between the information that you have with your client by the time it gets back to the manager.
Partner or mentor excluded, right?
Yeah, well, you know what? If that partner is going to go out there and be with you every step of the way,
got it.
Absolutely not a problem.
Right.
However, if you and I are talking, I don't really know what I'm doing, and I'm saying you need to do this and this and this and this. By the time that information gets back to the manager or the broker, then there could be a disconnect.
Sure,
and that
absolutely.
could be a major problem. Next thing, Robert, do not sign more than a 6-month contract, and have an out in there if they don't perform. Now, when they don't perform, it's not that it didn't sell within the 6 months or the 3 months or whatever. If they didn't perform, it's you telling them the things that you wanted them to do or he told you he would do, he didn't do. Okay, which means you should have an out for that. So it's not whether it sells or not. It's did they do what they said that they were going to do. All right. Let's see. What else can I tell you? I think right now that's about it. The nice thing, and I hate to toot my own horn, but I guess that's what I'm here for. I've been doing this for 28 years. I've sold almost 1,000 homes. I've actually successfully negotiated almost 5,000 homes. I'm the guy that actually teaches the realtors. So I've never had a lawsuit, never, not once. And that's important because that's the last thing that you ever want the thing to go sideways. So
Right.
if you want us to come out, Rick and I will come out and we'll talk to you, and you can see whoever you want to see after that. I highly recommend you seeing as many companies as you possibly can, and I hope that helps.
John, thanks for the call. We
Yeah,
appreciate
absolutely.
that. The different
Thanks.
ways to get in touch with you, Phil, is you said phone, and can you give us that number again?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm at 661-312-3561. You can also go to philnordella.com, and you'll get all the information about me that you would ever want, and then some. And then some.
And some you don't want. No. Listen, we thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you'll enjoy your weekend. This is a great weekend to get out, check out some properties. Maybe Phil can help you with some of that. And don't hesitate to call him. I call him. Bug him all the time.
Oh, yeah, exactly right.
And,
Every day.
and by the way, no obligation. You'll answer any
Absolutely.
questions, and they don't even have to use you as an agent. I mean, that's what I love about you. You're really good at giving people suggestions and advice, and
I'm
don't
here to
ask for
help.
anything in return. Real estate, it's that simple. Every Friday, 10 a.m. Enjoy your weekend.